Welcome to today's edition of Lama Drives, TDU 2019 wrap-up, where Von drives. I've got our list of topics, and we just shoot the breeze for a little while about the week that was over in Adelaide. How you doing, Von?
I'm good.
You good?
Ready to drive.
It's a beautiful day outside.
So good.
It is on the 34 degrees Celsius. It's not only a beautiful day, it's very warm.
I'm very comfortable where I am right now.
We've got the air conditioner on.
We do.
It works quite well. Cool. So, okay, so it's about a 700 kilometre drive for us back from Adelaide, back home. Bikes in the back, bikes on the roof. We're transporting some bikes back for a few people who are flying because I'd hate to be a baggage handler at the Adelaide airport this week.
And I want to get my bike home.
There's thousands and thousands of bikes. So we're helping some people out by taking their bikes back for them. Today's topics include the rides around Adelaide that we've done, pro team rides, a bit of commentary on the race itself, the events that were held around the TDU over in Adelaide during the week, the tour village itself, and other banter that we can just come up with as we drive home. Kicking off, Von, great week in Adelaide.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
It was, as predicted, pretty damn good. No rainstorms or anything like that. My pre-video that I did about going over in the heat and being prepared, that all came true. It was very, very hot. As such, we probably didn't get out on the bike for the long rides that we usually do. So my rides were around 60, 70 Ks, no 100K days. No. I wasn't up early enough for those before the heat really kicked in, but I got 315 Ks or so. Von, you had about the same?
Oh, yeah, I had a little bit more, yeah.
Only a little. Von beat me by 7 kilometres for the week, so there wasn't much in it at all. But yeah, good bike rides, good racing, and good race coverage this year. As always, we've come to expect from the online presence of racing, but also on the televised coverage on Channel 7 this year. It was a different broadcaster, I think.
Yep, different broadcaster. Coverage was great. I didn't see any replays later on at night, but I wasn't really up late watching it. I was more watching the tennis at night. Yeah,
actually the Australian Open's on at the moment, so we were watching Federer get knocked out last night. But
that was sad.
Still good matches, really good sport.
Yeah.
So summer of cycling in Australia is kicking on strong, but also summer of sport in general. The cricket's also on as well, so flicking the cricket on every now and then. Okay, covering the race up first, Von, because if people are watching this video, because it's got TDU in the title.
It is TDU.
Let's talk about the race itself. I've got 3 dot points here.
Yeah.
That I want your feedback on, and I'll give my feedback as well.
Okay.
First up, well, I assume everybody has seen the results, so go follow the results. This is all spoilers. It's a day or so later. So, okay, first up, Caleb's headbutt and relegation into the Strathalbyn stage. Your thoughts?
I think it was warranted. I think they should have relegated him.
Okay.
That there was definitely an altercation there. It was very clearly visible. It was all done within the confines of the race. There was no injuries caused, so to speak, or from that side of things. They probably could have called it a bit earlier.
Yeah.
In terms of that, but
Okay.
Fair call.
Fair call from the commissaires?
Yes.
Okay. I'll go on the other side of the fence for now, and then I'll support you on my second sentence or second paragraph on this. So,
I don't mind either way.
Caleb's headbutt, there were no hands taken off the handlebars.
Yes.
So all is fair. We saw the headbutt, we weren't quite sure who it was. You can't really make those calls early because you can't make a call like that mid-race and have someone disqualified unless it's further down the road, so just a rebuttal on that one. So no hands off the handlebars, Rubbins racing. People are like, he shouldn't have been thrown out. The true red-blooded Aussies are saying he didn't do anything wrong. If you had an Italian doing that, what would the Australians say then? Kick him out of the race, dirty tactics, dirty racing. So to come from Switzerland and be neutral there, no, fair call. I think what people were saying was it was the third headbutt because there's a little nudge, there's a bit of a headbutt, and there's a blatant almost take your head off Caleb and throw it in the guy's lap and then pull it. It was out of character of the sport, not out of character of a sprinter because that's just what they do. So I think fair call as well. Unfortunately, fair call. And you can be a superstar, you can be a young up-and-comer or whatever they label Caleb as, and he's a brilliant sprinter. He's a champion. He's a winner. He's going to go far. He's already come this far. You break the rules. You break the rules. Remember, cycling got thrown into the tour. Cycling isn't known to support cycling. Okay, next up. Richie's Wollonga stage win. Now, this is the 6th time Richie has won up Wollonga.
Yes.
Your thoughts on that?
I wanted him to win. I did.
You got your wish?
I got my wish. I didn't know, because there was a small possibility on count back of timing. If he won the stage, you'd also get 10-second
10-second bonus. He would have got that win in the stage.
Potentially also win the tour. It was quite exciting moment to have Richie there and to see if he was going to launch or not. He was there in the front group at the right point in time.
Yep.
And the first lap, Sky was up there, and I was like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Where's Richie? So I wanted him to win the stage.
Okay, looking at the data up the first lap, Ben O'Connor, one of the young guys from Dimension Data, skinny dude as well. I think it was over 440 or 450 watts for over 7 minutes going up the first lap. It was on. It was on the first lap, even though he was still in the bunch or within the lead group, still doing quite well. It was on. And the same for about the second lap or so. For me, I thought Richie would probably attack about 2K to go. If he was on really good form to get a solo gap or enough gap on Impy to take back the seconds. He attacked at about 1K to go, I think it was.
So he did what he knew that he could do to win the stage.
Exactly right. But when we saw Impy cross the line only like within the same camera shot as Richie, I'm like, well, he's had no chance at all. Impy was an absolute flyer. So cool to see, good for Australian cycling. And I had to have a bit of a chuckle at somebody's comment on one of my videos on this was, oh, well, that's Richie's year over then. I thought, what do you... that's kind of awkward. Good burn.
But it was nice for Green Edge to win as well.
The overall?
Yeah.
Mitchelton Scott?
Whatever they're called these.
Yeah, okay. And finally, on the race itself, Paddy Bevan. The unfortunate crash that he had. And he soldiered on to finish the stage at the same time for the stage 5 or 6, or whatever, I've lost count of the stages.
Final stage.
The penultimate stage. And then on the final stage, he was done. He was cooked. He was too injured.
He was good right to the climb.
Yeah, the question will always remain though, what could he have done? What would he have done?
Yeah.
Given he climbed corkscrew like he did, could he have survived 2 laps up Wollonga, which is about the same duration. Different climb. I wouldn't say... I will say, easier climb.
It is an easier climb.
That's me as a punter on the side of the roads going, it's not as steep, so it's easier. Yeah, try put out 450 watts up there after hundreds of kilometres of racing. Yeah, tough stuff. Cool.
It was sad to see that he crashed in such a random crash in the middle of the bunch. That was really sad. I still haven't fully heard what's happened with his injuries, assuming that everything should be cool.
I don't think there was any
to go
breaks.
on because he rode the last stage, obviously.
Yeah, poor bugger.
But really sad to see. So hopefully we see big things from him coming up.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of crashes, the amount of ambulances we saw this week, yesterday alone, as we were driving back, we parked at Aldinga Beach and then rode 50 k's of the stage, etc., and then back out, and then we drove back into Adelaide on the highway/freeway.
Condition comfort.
Oh yeah, it was quite warm, and 3 ambulances going the other way.
Just on the route that we took.
Yeah, they're the ones that we saw. This week I rode past probably 2 or 3 accidents as well with ambulances there. Look, it's inevitable.
Yeah.
Many cyclists.
And that's why you said in your tips, please, ride within your abilities, keep an eye out for others.
Yeah, look, it is what it is. Just be very careful. That's all I can say. I can say it a million times. People are going to flip off, and shit happens.
Yeah.
Shit happens. It just does. So, but good to see the ambulances were there. If they weren't there, that's the problem. So, anyway, the Australian health system is pretty damn good, and we're pretty grateful for that. So, speaking of rides this week, Von, your bunch rides, 300 kilometres of rides. Which were your favourite? Which were your ones you'd recommend? How did you go?
Well, every year the Rafa Women's Ride is a really nice way to ride together as a community. So highly recommend that one. And it was great. We had a massive bunch of ladies that came out for that day.
Yep.
The other days I pretty much did Rafa rides as well, just the core or the classic rides.
Now we stayed right near Rafa, didn't we? So it was easy to get to the start points of those.
Yeah. Because my main aim was to beat the heat and to get a good half day work in as well. So I had to fit it in around my schedule. Everything worked out really well. Also really enjoyed our ride out with Wollonga as well. So that was pretty
that was
cool.
fun on the last day.
It was a good way to do something different with something that we've done every year.
Yeah,
so
we've
that
ridden
was nice.
out there. The Wollonga round trip is 110 to 120 kilometre a day.
Depending which way you
I
go.
was going to say kilometre. Depending on which way you go, but it's also can be quite warm, and the drag back into town can be quite long. And we've done that over and over.
I've stopped for Slurpees on the way back before.
Oh, so we did something different this year. We drove out most of the way and then rode and enjoyed the day.
Yeah.
Coverage out there was pretty good as well. They had a large screen in one of the parks. So we sat there and watched the finish. We rode the Wollonga Hill, sat down and watched the screen, big PA system there so we could hear what was going on. And just enjoy the show. I'll link below to Von's Strava. My Strava link is always on below in my videos as well. If you want to have a look at where we rode in the week, just some ride options if you're ever in Adelaide. It's pretty cool. I did Mount Lofty 4 times, which is the selfie lookout that you have to go to. So here was my challenge. Could I ride Mount Lofty 4 times and not ride up Green Hill Road, which is the most direct route there? I did it. I didn't ride up Green Hill Road.
Fantastic.
So Old Freeway, Norton's one day, Corkscrew another, and Bel Air / Sheoak the other as well. So I got in the Sheoak climb, which is nasty.
Yeah.
Nasty. It's so steep. Got the Sheoak climb in, got Corkscrew in, and we did Wollonga as well. So, the famous climbs around Adelaide. Heaps of fun. There's a number of other clims.
So did you do any bunch rides?
The Katusha ride?
Okay.
That's probably the only bunchy that I did. No, I was on a bit of a weird schedule. I had some calls in some of the mornings, so I couldn't really commit to catching up with any bunch rides without cancelling my calls. So I sort of did my own thing, which was fine. I was absolutely. It's just you'll always find a bunch to tag onto,
Very true.
or a wheel up the road to chase. Or someone to chase you down. If you saw my corkscrew video, I saw us just ticking up corkscrew, enjoying it, and everyone comes shooting past until the steep section, and everyone goes shooting back the other way because always people to ride with and ride around.
I think that's also something to note for those that haven't been to Adelaide before, that there are tons of organised rides. So even though Rafa put some on, Specialised put some on, I think Cycling Tips had some on as well.
Yep.
So there's plenty
the
of
local
organised
clubs.
rides.
And I've mentioned the allthetdu.com website before I went over. Hopefully that hangs around next year as well. I think it's a volunteer thing, so hopefully that happens next year. It's a super handy resource. Speaking of the bunch rides, the pro team rides, Monday is the day for pro team rides.
Yeah.
So I went out with Katusha, enjoyed that ride, and then on my pro team ride that we saw with Katusha, we had Uni SA team came past the other way, we had Quick Step come past the other way, Bora, Sagan just happens to ride past in his bunch, Lotto Sudala having coffee at the coffee shop. Everyone's down the beach on the Monday. So if you're coming over to Adelaide for the Tour Down Under and you want to ride with the pros or have access to the pros, just to say hi and not be too annoying, Monday's the day.
Yeah.
It is brilliant.
Fantastic.
I don't know of anywhere else where you can pretty much guarantee to see world superstars like that.
Yeah, I got my Sagan selfie in, so, my tour was done pretty much by Monday.
Everyone was very jelly of his Sagan selfie.
My name is Peter.
Funny stuff. Sagan, he's a superstar. Even though he's not in the world champ bands, I mean, he's worn them long enough that he is an absolute champion. And the video we did when Von did have this selfie with him, the way he carries out his PR, and he's got a machine behind him to look after him to do that, but it's done very, very well. So other events around the week, Zwift held multiple events. One with the Trek women, one with the Hump Day rides were held in person. The Oakley event the other night. What else do we have for the Zwift events?
There's live rides too.
The live rides, the Hump Day ride.
No, as in outdoor.
Oh, and outdoor rides. Sorry, I forgot about cycling outdoors. Talking about Zwift. So they held group rides at the same time, or during the same days.
Yeah, for
They were holding other
Zwifters,
events.
it's good because not a lot of people would be travelling with trainers, so they're there to do.
And the way I still see it, and you used the word trainer. Why do we use trainers? To train to be better for outside. My last couple of weeks of training back home on Racer Mate Challenge version 2. That's the only indoor riding I've done for a while. It's been too good. The Vesti 500, this is all about training to come over here and be okay in the hills.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not racing up the hills, I'm not setting any comms, but you still have to be a certain level of fitness to be able to enjoy the hills. If not, there's a few people suffering on the hills who they like the downhills a lot more.
I was enjoying the downhills a lot more this year.
So you've got to train up to come over here. So Zwift as a discipline, Zwift as racing, whatever you want to use it as, or indoor training in general, it's kind of handy to have that fitness to get over here and enjoy your time and be able to ride those 50k, 60ks and in the heat.
Yeah.
To survive that. So
look, just one thing on the Zwift events.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to a lot of different Zwift events around the world.
I dragged you along to a lot of those.
Yeah, no, a lot of them I suggested we should go to. The format were different format events.
Everyone?
In Adelaide, so it was actually fun to go to the different ones. So the one with the Trek Women team, that was exciting. Like it was a relay between public.
Set distance. They had some pro women riders.
And some members of the public.
People of the public to come in, and they all swapped. Well, certain stations swapped people to try and get there first. Okay,
Yes.
so that engaged.
So that was pretty cool.
Yep.
And then the Oakley event, which was
Gold Rush.
Yeah, Gold Rush, but people were assigned to colours in the room.
4 colours in the room,
and
you had a wristband, and then that's the team that you
those people could form up a team to ride for sunglasses.
and collect coins.
Yeah.
It's not an in-game thing, it's an external website that you can integrate with the in-game. It's a bit kind of weird how
So
it's
it's like
set
an
up.
overlay
Yeah,
to
yeah.
Zwift.
But the crowd were there looking at, they had a Jumbotron in the centre.
Yes.
Effectively,
That was quite effective.
Yay! I've been calling for Jumbotrons for a long time so people can see what's going on. And that worked really well. People were fixated on the screens, who's collecting coins, and everyone got free sunnies who won. So
yeah, that was pretty cool. And there were some giveaways for helmets and bits and pieces. So, and we got stubby holders, true Aussie style, on entry. So that was pretty cool.
Stubby holders as you go in. Okay, they're what would you? I think I'll just leave it at that. It's can cooler, so your hands don't get cold while you're drinking your tinnies.
Yeah, or your tinnies don't get
too hot. I don't know. Anyway, they're not quite chili bins, but yeah. Anyway, other events around town. Keno doing interviews every night with the celebs in the village.
We caught one of those.
So the centre of town is converted into the event village, and Matty Keenan, voice with the new up and coming voice of cycling. Would you call him that?
He's been commentating for a long time
on the tour and all other cycling. So he was interviewing people like Stuart O'Grady, Anna Mears, a few of the pros if they had some time to come over there, because everyone stays in the one hotel, the Hilton, across the road. That was pretty cool to see. I had the Beers and Gears event.
That was great.
Wahoo, Sufferfest, Full Gas, and a few others. I was a panellist there where we sat down and took questions, and we gave a bit of our backstory, a bit of where we saw things were heading in the sports tech industry. A couple of good questions coming in from the crowd.
Yeah.
That was good to be a panellist on that. So it's the second year we've held that. Looking forward to the third. And maybe more of that. I love doing those events. Give me questions any day from comments coming in from people, direct user feedback. That's why I'm in the comment section all the time and responding to forums and things. That's ear to the ground stuff, and people right there with access to people who program the programs that they use, or the hardware, or design the hardware they use.
Yeah.
There were some pretty important people there who weren't identified, but there were some pretty important people there. Good stuff. Also, one other thing as well I have to bring up, that Adam Hansen tweeted out a public invite to one of his product launches of a new technical product, which I'm quite very interested in. Some pedal scan stuff and high-speed rider analysis programming, which I'd love to utilise indoors. I'm looking for solutions. This is pretty much right up my alley. I was super excited about this, rocked along. Unfortunately, we turned up to what appeared to be a private filming session with another media organisation. Which is fine. That's fine. Nobody could hear anything because he was mic'd up. And the crowd got a bit awkward after about 5 minutes, and everyone started talking, and then we just sort of walked off. The less I say on that, the better. I was super disappointed at that. I was pretty pissed off, to be honest. What ifs? Okay, enough on that. Tour Village itself starting at 3 p.m. Now the Tour Village for me should be open all day, because people want to just walk in, walk out. Everyone's in town. Wasn't quite sure if the 3 p.m. Open time of the Tour Village would work. I think it did because it was too bloody hot during the week to go there during the day. So we were there, we knew it was open at 3, but we saw last year at 12 o'clock when we come back from our rides, people being turned away from the gates and everything being shut down. I didn't see that this year because we only went after 3 o'clock. Your thoughts? To a village, bit small, stands are a bit faded, shit's still the same as last year there, bit disappointing?
I think it was a bit of layout format this year. That was pretty good. They had more food options, which was better. They also had a martini truck.
Espresso martinis.
Yeah! I thought that was pretty cute. The beer garden was front and centre this time round as well. Slightly different format.
Yeah.
But they also had a lot of spray
misters
which I think helped as well to cool things down. Overall, I think it was a better layout. The timing, like you said, we only went to there when it was open, so we were a bit more conscious of the time, I think.
I think that as a trade show doesn't work for me. There's too much high-end stuff, whereas the market there, well, for example, Adam Hansen's pedal scan analysis stuff is for high-performance athletes and bike-fit professionals. He was there presenting on a Saturday night in the middle of Adelaide where people were there who'd just come back from a ride, who probably don't have a power meter, maybe have only got themselves a heart rate monitor, and you're presenting them professional level athlete data analysis and pedal scan. It was probably a bit too off. And I find the same, say, with the Mavic wheel stand, the Look bike stand. It's all really super high-end stuff. $15,000 Pinarellos there. Fair enough, it's the market for that. I don't know. I'd rather see the trade show just calm it down a bit on the professional level stuff, cater more for the audience who are there. The most popular stand, the Santini and Castelli bargain basement bins for jerseys and things that may not fit quite well, but people still wear it. People just want a cheaper jersey or a pair of arm warmers or... You know, I guarantee you they sold more arm warmers there on a 40-degree day than they would any high-end tech and high-end stuff. I think that they need to move this. Look, not to shit on it entirely. It's a great idea to have a trade event and some presence there, but they need to grab that by the balls and move it somewhere else to make Australian Eurobike during the week. Because what does work really, really well is access to bikes and loaner bikes. You had 2 this week. And every time we went to loan bikes or check them out, or the areas like Focus Bikes were there, Cervelo, Yankee were there, just double down, triple down on that. Get people out there on your bikes, because as soon as people throw a leg over and experience your bike, great, there's a set of Mavic wheels up on the shelf, or there's a pair of this or a pair, no one really, it's just brand identification. Switch that up. There's so much more that can be done. Grab another big town hall.
So maybe they could put more consumer level bike testing in there. So if you have your Avantis, your
Giants,
Melbourne Stars, your Giants,
and one in the back,
those kinds of things, so that people that are more likely to buy something from your local bike shop
you can walk in there and use it. Sure, you can go to a bike store and test ride anything you like. Bike stores allow that. But people are over there. They're in the mood. Just the same as leading up into Christmas shopping, people go shopping for gifts. You can shop any time of year for gifts. Nothing changes, but people shop around Christmas. Why? Because Christmas. TDU is Christmas for cyclists. It's a festival week to be there to test ride. So double down on that. Get the trade people there. I mean, Wahoo did partner with Zwift to do a certain amount of events, and they were there to answer questions, but where's the Wahoo booth? I guess FE Sports were there, who were there. It's just kind of have a certain a hall set up like Europe. I think they could really do well with that.
I don't know if they'd need it all week though.
Maybe the last 3 days when people rock up onto the weekend. Nobody's there on the Sunday because we're all out at Wollonga Hill now. The Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I reckon that'd be the way to go. I didn't see Tax there at all. Tax held an event somewhere. We were only alerted to later on. We missed the event. Elite weren't there. I mean, I'm talking about the trainer. That's sort of my little area. Didn't see Elite there, but there were all the teams they sponsor were there.
Okay, yeah.
So there's a big, imagine having, my idea is to have a massive hall or a massive festival area where teams could come along, the tax teams come along and ride there. That's sponsorship opportunities for the teams who are there. Elite, Wahoo, any other, Garmin were there, but I don't know. It just lacked a little bit. The physical location's a bit too small for the event village. So I reckon, there's a bit to do for that, and there will be changes up next year. So you said this morning in the news, the race director for the last 20 years, 15 years is now changing hands or passing over?
From its inauguration of 1999.
I just want to go back.
Yeah. Mike Turner is stepping down after next year, so he will do a transition year next year with the new person that's going to be appointed to run the Tour Down Under.
Okay.
And from then on, it will be run under a new race director.
Okay, so we might see a little shake-up of the race itself. There's never been a time trial. I don't think there's been a prologue. Somebody might correct me on that. I can't recall seeing a prologue.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's never been a time trial because the logistics of bringing a TT bike over this far.
Early in the season.
Early in the season.
Yeah. But that being said, there's also a lot more racing here for that category of team that are now in Australia. So following Tour Down Under, there's going to be Cadell's, that's right.
Ocean Road Race. Yep.
Yes. And then the Herald Sun Tour, which is another UCI race that will follow on from here. So there's more reasons for teams to come out and collect points.
Plus Melbourne to Warney, but I don't think that's UCI points or anything. But there's big racing on. There is big racing. Yep. Plus the Melbourne race around Albert Park, which is prior to Cadell's. There's quite a bit of racing going on.
Yeah, so I hope to see what happens with that in the future.
Yeah, cool. And with another race director, do you think we'll see any changes to the women's Tour Down Under?
Potentially, yes. So this year was the first year they did equal prize money for men and women. That's one of the things that the UCI brought in the last year, that 2019 would have equal prize money for UCI events.
Okay.
So that's fantastic.
Yeah, we're very keen to see what's happening. But overall, a successful week in Adelaide. Yeah, good rides, good weather, probably a little bit too hot, but we dealt with that. Yeah. But I wish it ran for 2 weeks.
I don't, because I'm tired.
Well, so we could have a rest day and then get stuck into it for week 2.
Right.
We could do a beach day. We could do, there's just so much more to do.
Well, Cadell Evans Great Ocean Road Race is this coming week, so rest up and get your 110Ks in.
All right. Is there a beach down that way?
There is.
I guess it's Great Ocean is actually in the name of the race, so I should have taken note of that.
And it goes right past Bells Beach as well.
There we go.
Yeah.
Is it Easter yet? We go to the Surf Classic.
Soon. It's
all right.
up.
We'll leave it there. We're halfway home. Thanks for coming along for the ride or the drive. Hope you've enjoyed the content from over here at the TDU. Von, you've had fun riding bikes, testing bikes.
Yes.
Made any choices yet?
It has informed my decisions, but no
decisions have been made.
has been made.
Too easy. All right, let's soldier on. It must be time for some lunch. We'll see everyone next episode. Thanks for watching.
Thanks. Beep, 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 beep.